Hi, I'm Liv, and today I thought I would talk about my 5 books that I want to read before the end of 2025. I actually have 5 books and then maybe a plus one that's, if I can get to it, I'd love to, but if not, it's okay. So I've just got a little extra one, but 5 before the end of 2025 sounded better as a title, so that is what we're going with. Got everything written down on my iPad, so we're going to go through every book. I've got a little bit of information about the book and then also like why I want to read it, so let's get started. It's currently December 4th that I'm uploading this and filming this, so I've got this month left to read some more books before the end of the year. Now I have already reached my goal, which was 75 books, and I'm so proud of myself. I wasn't even doing it as like I have to read this much. It was just a goal to see how many books I could read this year. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself, which I feel like I did last year. So this year I was just kind of dialing it back a little bit, and I'm happy. I'm really happy with where I got to. So I'm going to try and get through these 5 books as well. What I've got is Road Trip with a Vampire. Now this one is a part of a series. It's the 3rd book in the series, and I honestly adored the other 2 in the series. So the other ones were Vampire Plus One and My Vampire is a Roommate. No, My Roommate is a Vampire. I loved those books so much, especially My Vampire is a Roommate. My Vampire is a Roommate. No, My Roommate is a Vampire. Why do I keep getting that mixed up? I just think the writing style is so comedic and comical, and it's not too serious, but there are emotional stuff that's serious in it. So, for instance, in the 2nd book, I felt like our male main character, he was very vulnerable with our female main character, and that is the bit I loved about it. But the plot isn't too serious and isn't too like life-threatening, so it's kind of a cozy read if you really think about it. It's a cozy read at the end of the day. But this one is about a witch and a vampire. So usually it's about like a vampire and a human, but this time it's got a witch who was mentioned in the 2nd book. So this book is about a witch and a vampire who go on a road trip, and this witch finds this vampire who has completely lost his memory, and they think that if they go on this road trip, it's going to jumpstart his memories and his brain is going to start remembering things again, and maybe it can help him figure out who he is, because we don't know who he is. And this witch, we know from the 2nd book, is a very powerful witch who's been alive for so long, but she kind of wants to be left on her own and have peace and quiet because she's sick of being dragged into the narrative. I've got not like high hopes, but I know it's going to be good because I really thoroughly love the other 2 in the series, and I just feel like the writing just feels so familiar. It just feels like a hug, so I'm very excited to read that. Next book I've got is another supernatural one, and this is The Devil She Knows. I've never read anything by this author before. However, I was watching, who was it? Ellen Catherine, and she said this book was so good. Now this one is a sapphic romance. So we've got our female main character, and she is a human, and she thinks her life is just not going the way it wants. She's just broken up with her partner and everything is going wrong. She enters the elevator, and inside is a girl who basically says that she is the devil and grants her 6 wishes. Now these wishes ultimately will end up in our female main character giving her soul. That's what she agrees. She said, I will give you 6 wishes if you will give me your soul at the end. She thinks, I'll just use 1 wish. I only need 1 wish really, I won't use the rest. But our devil wants to make her use all the wishes so she can keep her soul. So in this book, some of the tropes we got were like morally grey character, it's a sapphic romance, so it is girl and girl, it's a lesbian romance. Obviously it's supernatural because one of our female main characters is the devil. It just sounded very interesting, and I wanted to read this at Halloween, but I completely forgot about it because it is my Kindle. But I am very excited to read it, and I'd like to read it before the end of the year if possible. Next we have Holiday Ever After, which is by an author that I usually do enjoy her stuff, and that's Hannah Grace. Now this one is a festive book centered around Christmas, and I'll just read you the tropes because those are what really made me want to read this. Grumpy sunshine, small town guy and city girl, forced proximity, one bed trope, opposites attract, and enemies to lovers. Now that is all I want to know going into this book. I mean, I have read the blurb, and from a brief skim of it, it seems as though this book is about this girl comes to this town and she's trying to convince the town that the company she works for isn't a bad company. Now the male main character, he hates this company, and so he doesn't want to even listen to this girl, but she is what's the word, determined to change his mind. That is the gist, but honestly I just thought it would be a really cute holiday book, especially the tropes. The tropes are what has made me want to read this. Next, we've got a book that you probably wouldn't think of wanting to read around Christmas time, but this is The Killer Question. Now, this is a Janice Hallett book, and I really do enjoy a Janice Hallett book. There's only been one that I just got bored, and that was The Twyford Code, but the rest of them I have enjoyed. Now, her books are so different. So her books are mysteries. This one in particular is about a pub, and in this pub, the owners have been murdered and we don't know who has murdered them. Now, Janice Hallett books are not written like a regular book. They are written with just emails, pictures, excerpts from reports and transcripts. None of it is written like a story. It's all evidence, but like put together in a book. So it's very interesting, very fast paced, and I want that book. Like, I want to read that type of book because honestly, she's the only author that I read that does it, and it's so captivating. I read 2 of her books whilst I was on holiday as well, and I loved them. I love reading her stuff. I just think it's very interesting. Even if I don't give the book a 4 or a 5 star, I've still had so much fun with it. Okay, the last book we've got written down is another one that it has nothing to do with Christmas, but I've had it on my shelf for ages. Now, this one is I Wish I Were Here. This book I picked up in the works, and the concept I love. So this one is about this girl who has this perfect planned life. Everything in her life is planned to a T. And then she wakes up one day and her entire identity doesn't exist. And what I mean by this is there are no medical records of her, no bank cards traced back to her. She has no record of existing, even like on any databases, and she has no ID. That's the thing. Now, she enlists the help of her neighbour in her apartment block to figure out what the hell's going on, because he does remember her, people remember her, I think, but she has no ID. So they're trying to figure out what's happened, why this has happened, but at the same time, he thinks that this will be interesting to get up some mischief because they can't trace it back to her because she doesn't exist as a person, as an identity. Her name is not attached to her. Just thought it'd be interesting, thought it might be cute. It doesn't sound too serious, and again, it's kind of, I don't know if it's supernatural, kind of like mystery and a bit mystical, if that makes sense, but I just thought it might be a cute read, and it's a romance. I've been eyeing it up for ages, honestly, and I love the cover, so I need to get to read this book this month. I have one more book that I was interested in. Now, this one isn't one I have to read this month, but it would be nice if I could, and this is Laurie Gilmore's new book, and this is The Gingerbread Bakery. I really do enjoy a Laurie Gilmore book. I enjoyed her last few. She's done 4 so far. So there's Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, the Christmas Tree Farm, and the Pumpkin Patch Pancake House, or the Strawberry Pumpkin Patch Pancake House. And I enjoyed all of them. I really want to read this book. This book is about, I think it's Annie. So Annie owns a gingerbread bakery, and she wants to have a love of her life to match her business. She wants them to be sweet and lovely, and that's not happening right now though. She is locked in a battle of wills with the irritatingly upbeat bar owner down the street called Mac. So it says here that Mac has everything he ever wants except the girl he dreams of, and it's easier to argue with Annie than try and get her to talk to him. So that's his way of like trying to shoot his shot, but not quite. Logan and Jeannie's wedding is coming up, who are the 2 main characters in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So I did not know about that in this book, and I'm so excited. This is the first time reading the blurb, by the way. So they're about to spend a lot more time together. At the bottom, as the snowflakes fall and with romance in the air, will Annie see that the one she loves to hate might just be her perfect match after all? I really want to read this. It's just going to be such a good Christmassy read. Like, look, there's a little cat on the front. There's always some sort of animal. A little cat on the front playing with a bauble. Oh, there's 2 cats. There's a ginger cat there as well. It's just, and look, I love the book. It's just so pretty. I'm just very excited to read it. I've read all her other books, so I'm very, very excited to read this. Again, if I don't get around to it, it's not the end of the world, but I'd like to because it's a Christmas read. So I thought I'd just add this in as like a potential read, but the other 5 are things that I really, really want to read this month. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff. And tell me down below if there's any books that you are really wanting to read this month and to finish before the end of 2025. That's crazy that 2025 is like about to end. Like, it feels like it just started yesterday. Like, that is insane. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.